world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, creating a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work and left behind, it's where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also new puppies. Worshiping pedophiles, wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system, irrigation, and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to warn us in every tiny detail.
Ganja, I know you up in here, beloved.
Us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Come on. You're almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. I do it dance for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just lie down. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft stealth spit. Can't be tied down like even sheep building. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked, it caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. The bust off of some ices and velvet shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for remarks, velvet. Body you not for marches of females clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly zone, haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're healing man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm telling sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow our set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper opera. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm data space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the case, face face off. After it shaped the state, he's a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Sebastian Capero, a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lives what your fans get. The world's in perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. This is the shit or get off the plot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew, and everybody wants to get his own crew rich, and then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the traffic. I go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas who got to can't stand me. You niggas that know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me.
Young people, old people.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress.
And y'all know how scared people act, right?
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'm laying out, execution style's too late when apologetic claim. You rap that a folk up, blame by God, that's overdue. Your time is to the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the better for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With suppressors attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the political simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who have it to understand. Over kneels too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe in TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red on my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above, I be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' hit them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is, and it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Yo, Ganja, we're gonna build a studio. Then we're gonna get a shed, a little $4,000 shed. Used one we can get for like $250, and we're gonna turn it into a studio using all our mics and everything. And we're gonna have them brothers dropping through. We're gonna be giving some recording stuff. We'll just charge $25-$50 for about an hour and a half session, as long as the track is laid and we'll make sure we have West Side and a couple other people, you know, DZ, DJ. We know a lot of the brothers here, you know, everybody can lay down a track, make sure we get the proper drumming thing and everything, and we'll put out our own music, bro. You dig what I'm saying? Get some of my Arab brothers who are rapping about Palestine, which is Roman Greco, it doesn't matter. All right, that's Palestine before it was Israel. And some people still want to claim that was Israel. Israel is a person, and that was Yaqub. And Yaqub, y'all know who that is, based on a narrative by Dr. York, Dr. Malachi York, so who's still locked up innocently. So until people start catching this, betrayed by some melanated sisters, we'll do our own thing. You dig what I'm saying? And that's after we get things established. You dig what I'm saying? First, I want to read something. So if you're eating jalapenos and stuff, right? Because I look at what's recalled to see how they're poisoning people. All right. So the jalapeno or jalapeno, that's not even how it's pronounced. Pepper recall as FDA says highest risk level ever. And this was published August 15, 2024. You can go to Newsweek, you can go to Food Court, you can go to any of those things. And so I just want to go into the ones that are in case I know this is a certain place, especially on the East Coast, but it's also here in the Mid and West Coast. So for those who believe the East and the West, when you know it's backwards, but we're going to talk with people understand it. You know what I'm saying? Freshshire Farms, and I used to get their jalapenos. Thank goodness we grow them on the res. They still grow them on my farm, right? Check it out. Jalapenos packaged in plastic bags of 8-ounce, 18 bags per case. Freshshire Farms green beans packaged in plastic bags at 1 pound, 14 bags per case. Freshshire Farms was always a good thing, and you know they had the GMO-free one, which is kind of better than organic, but green peppers packed in plastic bags containing 3 peppers, 16 bags per case. Jalapeno peppers packaged as 5-pound dice, and I had to reach out to one of my Mexican brothers over in Ohio and hit him up because I know that he's that. He moved over like 2 years ago, and I says, yo. And he was like, no, we already got the hit, bro. And I was like, okay. So 2 bags per case, whole or 10, because that's how they even have a little restaurant if you're in Ohio. I'll let you know. Poblano package, and Poblanos, oh my goodness. 5-pound half slice with 2 bags per case. 5-pound fourth dice with 2 bags per case. 5-pound half dice with 2 bags per case. And then the green peppers packaged, I call them all chilies regardless, as whole 10-pound carton, whole 20-pound carton, and whole 5-pound cartons. So in case, and you know this has been just like when the bridges were being attacked, the railroads being cut, until the people recorded these government agents literally out there with concrete and steel saws cutting the tracks. All right, that's when that stopped. All right, when people realized that this ship, somebody was a whistleblower, he's no longer amongst us. All right, he liquidated, and they stopped that all of a sudden because there was 12 more lined up to take out bridges. The hysteria thing is ongoing, and that's why I say pay attention to well, you know who owns the 2 individuals that own all the food companies it goes back to, and we're not talking about BlackRock and which call it. Just go back and check them out, all right? So pay attention, be careful of what you're purchasing. And that's why I say it's important to grow things. And also, when you buy other products at restaurants, you got to remember some of these places utilize those food consortiums, all right? So I just wanted to share that. And I wanted to read something to you guys, all right? Before we get into our short reads. Oh, this is from my brother Q. So, ladies, I don't know. I'm gonna call him later on. I Am Recycling Incorporated. This is the brother. Played with Cincinnati Colts. Brother that me, Snoo, and a few other people, Big Jers, went to school with. He went on to play with the Cincinnati Colts and somebody else, I think. But this is one of the letters he sent me, and from Raleigh, North Carolina, Mr. James Branch. This was when I lived in Kebato on the reservation, okay? All right, so I don't live in a reservation. I live out in here now, about 10 years. Thank you. And this is a thank you card from our brother, Quintus McDonald. And I was laughing because I'm going through some letters to see what I'm going to throw away and keep. Keep pushing, Mushpaka. Yes, Mushpaka, yes. For life, 4th Ward, by Quint. All right. So like I stated, I know a lot of people have a hard time because they always want to deal with somebody famous. I was the one that got Willie D to shut the F up about my aunt and my uncle, John Amos, because she was the power attorney. He was doing that little flagrant bullcrap thing with my punk meth head cousin, KC. All right. And John Amos. Yeah, that's my uncle. So anyway, and I had to go over there and blast him. I don't care about you being some ex-rapper, you know, with your little midget want to shoot himself in the eye over, you know, whatever. You're going to shove by my family because I'll make a trip to Texas. I'll visit homie. And he did that little witch called boxing. That was the most pathetic thing I ever seen. And he ain't never really been hit in the body, taking punched by somebody that really know how to hit. I don't care if you train for 2 years hitting a heavy bag. If you ain't got 30 to 40 years of it, you ain't saying nothing. So I stopped all that shenanigans. Now, I don't know if he took it down, but it was my business to get him to take it down. And mom was like, pay it no mind. She was in Cancun, her and Jazz. I was like, no, I'll go and visit him. It's like, don't do that. Because, you know, I don't care. I'll be like, call some of my boys up over there in Fort Worth. Hey, yo, I'm coming through. Louisiana, where you at, Red? I'm on my way down to see Willie. Oh, really? They popped up right on the spot. So there's a lot of people that don't like certain people in the entertainment industry, and they believe that they're gaslighting and this, that, and the other. It's all about the dollar, not really about making things better. All right? So I just wanted to share that. I want to read this, and y'all might say when I read this, well, that's being negative. No, I am being honest. And it wasn't derived from feelings or emotions. I'm like a void, a paradox. And that's how I see myself all the time. You know, when I wake up, I write down the first 5 things that come to mind, other than my dream that I see recurringly. And then before I take it down, when I unplug everything and I move, I put my tablet, my phones and everything. If I leave them on, I put them on airplane mode, or I turn them off. I put them in another room or in the bathroom under the sink, and I unplugged the TV. Last night I fell asleep with it on. I was that tired, you know. So I want to read to you the science of the sacred secretion. I just want to read this little thing because, you know, we were talking about the pineal gland. I'm going to share that. Let me see. We're doing good. How are you? I just want to shout at everybody. I saw some messages. What happened? Some messages got deleted. Hey, it's all made. I got quite a lot of topics I'm hoping one day I can discuss them. He seems to know some stuff. I'm a little bit worried he knows about the melanated man, but does he know about the true Hebrews? Hebrew is a language. That is not a people, brother. Oh, my thing slipped. Hold on. It came undone. Hebrew is, yeah. And besides that, I speak Yiddish and I speak some Aramaic and some other language you have no idea about. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't think you. I don't care if you was highly trained with a whole half of the truth of information. I'd blast half of that. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help enlighten some people. Obviously, you're not. There's no such thing as a true Hebrew. That's a language. And I guarantee you don't know not one word of the language. Okay? Don't even try it. You got your delusions. Sharon. I got my baby girl Snoo. It's a language. Put in natural. Natural ain't natural anymore. Yeah. Oh, you got some cucumbers out your garden? I would like to have a couple of those. Doing pretty good. How are you? No, you can do that. I am Baby Girl Slaughter. You can get them out of here. You can hide them from the channel, all kind of stuff. As long as you make sure that, hey, greetings. What's going on, Real Big Red 216? How you doing? Gregory Nelson. You practice hermetics. What do you know about hermetics? We can get into that another day. This is reading. That's why it's a book, and with many books reading and time. Okay? MLL. Shalom, Mishpach. And even that's a new language. Derived from something around the 19th century. Oh, trust me, I know. Good stuff. Yeah. Israel. I'm going to just do this. Hebrew is a language. It's not a people. Yisrael, or if you want to say it, that's not how it's pronounced. That's a made-up word. If you want to say Israel, belongs to one individual, Yaakov. It's not a people. Now, if you want to say Jesus, Iosus, and if you want to say Judean, and then pronounce it appropriately, then we can have a conversation for another time. Okay? And that's not made-up stuff. Well, it kind of is, but that's a whole nother narrative to be painted. So anyway, let's go ahead and science is sacred secretion, the chemical, psychological, and astronomical explanation of the eternal alchemy by Victoria Lalu. Okay? Summary. I'm going to give you the summary. I just want you to, and then I'm going to read something from the Power Now, and I'm going to get right into, we're not going to read 100 Years of Lynching. We're just going to go right into Margaret Sanger's duplicitous, the 5 Ds. The pineal gland is a tiny gland in the center of the brain. Remember I was talking about how if you want to marginalize, like the face when you're doing art, it's right dead in the center. Okay? The gland has more blood flow than any other part of the body. There's a reason. And the calcified slows down and stops its function. The gland is connected to the same part of the visual cortex as the two physical eyes, giving it the title as our third eye, window to the soul. Literally. Not in perception, but to see and to enter. The pineal gland has many responsibilities, including secreting melatonin and DMT. And it's supposed to do it all the time. And you're supposed to be able to step into it at any time, and that you cannot. The pineal secretes directly into the cerebrospinal, okay, which could anywhere your cerebellum is, right? Fluid, which flows throughout the central nervous system, which is your Christ factor, part of your crown, the fluid between your brain and your skull, and and throughout the central nervous system. The calcification of the pineal is essential for effective use. You have to. And I've been telling you, you need to learn how to stand up on your head. Now, because I study Shaolin Kung Fu, and my head is pretty freaking hard, okay? I still do it. Now, I don't freehand like I used to, where I just get on my head, lean up against a tree, and just hold my arms crossed, and I don't do all this bad for the neck, you know what I'm saying? It's like the exercise we used to do for football and boxing. You see Mike Tyson has the same issue that some of us have. That's why you see us do this, because we're cracking it. Put your hands down, put a pillow, and allow yourself to sink in. Don't think about the pain. Don't think about the lividness. Don't become livid. And allow yourself to do a partial, if not 10% to 25, maybe 50% blood reset. It's a cleansing. If you study how your anatomy, your anatomy, your internal organs, function, and if you know that anything you turn upside down, not only does it change the time because you reset the time, you also do that with the body. It moves the same way as the hourglass. Okay, let's give it a shot and see what happens. And give it a shot for 7 to 14 days in a row. If there's nothing, then stop. It's no big deal. Okay. The power of now. Read this to you. It's a pretty good book if you want to get it. So, it's really good, actually. If some cosmic convulsion brought about the end of our world, the unmanifested would remain totally unaffected by this. Let me read that slow so you can really get it. If some cosmic convulsion, a hiccup, whatever you want to call it, space continuous cramp or something that would just fold in on itself, right? Brought about the end of our world, the unmanifested would remain totally unaffected. That's why I say it's important to remove all fears and toxic ideas and events. Paranoia is good to move around if you're an agent or something like that, because your perception is to perceive everything negative. When y'all see me driving, you think that I'm looking around because I'm worried about something. No, I'm looking around because I'm accessing what I feel. And when I react to things, it's because a lot of y'all are kind of numbskulls. And I don't have to make something out of nothing. You already became the something. So I acknowledge your existence. So it would remain totally unaffected by this. Now, a course in miracles, a course in miracles express this truth poignantly. Nothing real can be threatened. A lot of you are lies, and there's nothing real about you. That's why you feel threatened, and you react accordingly. And I enjoy it. Nothing unreal exists. So if there's nothing, anyone can attempt to make something. Yet if you're nothing, it means nothing. It matters not. No, some probably think, can I use that in violence? No. Now you're making something. So now you acquiesce to the situation abstract or abnormal. I know it's a little over your head, even those simplistic words. Herein lies the peace of Elohims, of gods. If you remain in conscious connection with the unmanifested, you value love or evil, right? Love. And deeply respect the manifested and every life form in it as an expression of the one life. Beyond form. You also know that every form is destined to dissolve again, and that ultimately nothing out here matters all that much. You have overcome the world, in the words of Isis, or as the Buddha put it, you have crossed over to the other shore. And Isis, I guess y'all say the word Jesus or something. I say Isis is Quasimodo. I just wanted to share that. And I'm aware, more than aware that 10% will get it. And it's all right. And I'll read it again. I actually marked it with a 5 to read it 5 times, each one. So let's get into our daily reading. All right? There's another book I was going to read, but it's unnecessary after that. Let's go ahead and get into Margaret Singer's The Negro Project. Margaret Singer's diabolical, duplicitous, dangerous, disastrous, and deadly plan for so-called Black America. Forwarded by Ron Edwards. As you know, it was set up by Bruce Flery, okay? And it's a really good read. And I'll show the thing again. And she looks just like who? And we know that though she looks like the bad witch, and this is the reversal on The Wizard of Oz, she is not. She is the one that killed the good witch. You see how the reversal works? Yeah. Let's pick up when we left off though. A race of men free from all human frailty, a race of men who would be unburdened by disease. This is the race they wanted to create. By physical deformity or mental illness, and a race of men that in their view would come to dominate the world through the new science of selective breeding. Now you got to remember, we already existed. One example of such guidance was Harry Laflin's aforementioned model eugenical sterilization law, which the head of the Eugenic Records Office hoped would serve as a template for a program of selective breeding in every state. It was this law which served as a model for future German race and population control policy. Not surprisingly, it was euthanically supported by German eugenics like Dr. Ernest Rudin. I gotta take some more vitamin B12. Staring at the sun just a little too long. The director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Genealogy in Munich. Rudin and other German eugenicists were so taken with Laughlin's work and the proposed law that resulted that they bestowed a special award on him in 1936 from Heidelberg University for his work in the science of racial cleansing. Now, Laughlin was delighted with the award and wanted to accept it personally, but was unable to do so because he could not make the trip to Germany himself. So he picked it up from the Rockefeller Foundation instead. And Rudin was one of the foremost German researchers in the field of selective breeding, and along with Dr. Alfred Pletz, these are Jews, was part of the expert committee on questions of population and race theory. Do we need to go back to Franz Boas and all those guys? And Hertz? The group was assembled by German Interior Minister Wilhelm Frick on June 2nd, 1933, to plan the course of Nazi racial policy. 18. Under this mandate, the group quickly went to work and by July 14th had devised a number of recommendations that would soon become known as the law for the prevention of genetically diseased offspring. The first of the Nazi sterilization statutes, and which would take effect on January 1st, 1934. She was something else, right? Oh, phew. And people want to blame Hitler for this. Hitler had nothing to do with this. He's like these individuals. He just gave the go-ahead as far as making better fighters. Like when y'all speak Oppenheimer and you think I have become death and all that nonsense, the nuclear weapon is not new, just like the internet cable. There's no satellite. The cables run between every country under the water. But are you aware that in 1888, there were cables And they call them sub-cables. They weren't sub-cables. There were cables down there that have been down there for thousands of years. None of this is new. So you can believe what you want. That means lack of knowledge and knowing. Just because I'm not swearing don't mean I'm not going to tell you what you need to hear compared to what you want to hear. You know what I mean? Sharon, I ain't telling what I got. Oh, we're on guard. Oh, okay. The posse is on guard. Yeah. Dubai, man, I haven't been there in a long time, but y'all had the best damn fried chicken in the world. Zach, y'all really do. If you're really in Dubai, which I doubt. I believe you would agree to me. But salam alaikum, or well, I'm not going to say it. You know how to say it. Aloha. What's going on, Dragon Sage? How are you? New York Minute. What's happening, beloved? I figured I'd stop in. Somebody was like, he doesn't respond. They got all. It must have been a youngin'. He's reloaded. Be mindful and read everything. Name of the book again? Chris Coleman, did you get it? I'll just share it again, just so that way everybody will have it. Both of them, actually. I advise people to purchase these books. They make not just for good reading, but they're very informative. And I've actually had these books for a while. Alexander, do not mess with that, because that thing is very sharp. Because I know every time something falls, you want to play with it. Okay, there it goes. Let me get that up. Excuse me, let me get this. And I don't know why it fell out. There you go. So, this is the first one. The Science of the Sacred Secretion. Okay? By Victoria Lauro. Okay? And then the next one is The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment, with a new preface by the author, Eckhart Tolle. I've had this for a while, too, so for quite some time. Okay? All right. And then you can go in there and look when it was published, blah, blah, blah. I think I paid like $17 for this. I forget. I believe I paid $17 for this. It's an exceptional book. I came by it in Walden's bookstore before, the fake demic, before they started closing them down. And I had to jump right on it. And it's really a really good read. And I always say if you actually want to, learn something, get these books and actually, put them to use. Just don't grab them and let them be. But this book, like I stated, and even the other one's older, is about 2004, 1990 something. So, let's go ahead and get into the next read, which is Exposing the Expositions, 1851 and 1950. This is Howdy Mikowski's revised 2021 from his 2019. As you know, Chicago, the statue. He still has it up. He has another video that goes back about 6-7 days. Original Lone Wolf, and that's a sister, and that statue still exists. It's a melanated sister, but they whitewashed it, and it didn't matter. They couldn't have made that at that time, and that's not how it looked. These were all brownstone, Every building had a living origin and physicality that was steeped in the reality of the red clay around it, the moats, and everything else, and was well protected. Okay? Court of Honors, they called it. Okay. I want to make sure. I want to pick it up for where I left off yesterday, but I'm ready to go to the next chapter because I think this is valuable information. So here, Howdy Mikowski in his writing states, while at this point I, nor it seems does anyone else, has the answers as to what really happened in our recent past. All we can tell at this point is that our past heritage, knowledge, health, life, in life were all taken from us. All with this knowledge were gotten rid of. Actually, if you can go back maybe 8, 12, 13 generations, depending on his blood type, he might be a new individual. And I'm not saying that for hate. Well, like I stated, there's a reality. There's a reality in this world. In order to attempt to change the order of things, you have to flip it up on its head. And right now, we are dealing with that, and people are starting to come into this reality. We don't need James Goodwall and all these other people who are saying this, Bonacci and all. Some of these individuals, even George Carlin, have been saying this for a long time. Nobody has really listened. Manny B. Hall and all his hundreds of thousands of hours of reading and talking, he's even elaborated on this. Yet people don't want to hear that, which would make them disappear. How could you disappear if you never existed? And in the quantum of existing, you're attempting to make more something instead of existing in a nothing to allow yourself to be established. That's why they want to destroy, because they have what they believe to be the perfect thing. An obedient slave, they can partake and do things, God, even eat, birth certain life forms in for certain reasons, and never have to worry about somebody fighting back. Okay, because they can die. So he is looking at it, and it's a wonderful thing, from the level of his knowledge, accepted in the reality without the truth of reality of his existence, which is absolutely fabulous to me. I have often hated to read historical books that promise to answer the unsolved question of, and in parentheses it states, whatever the subject is, from pyramids to Custer to Stalingrad. We read this yesterday. I just want to rehash it, because I think it's important. Yet nothing is answered. I don't have answers either, nor have I claimed to. What I have is enough evidence to present that standard history of the 200 years of our timeline is a giant lie. Nor do I dig into her recent events such as the JFK assassination, the moon landings, or the exploration of Antarctica. But all of our recent lies all come out of the period just prior to 1915. That period of time is the foundation of everything that has come after. So let's go ahead and jump into chapter 8, the ancient Rome, the missing link. That's what I stated. I just felt that it was important to read that one more time. This is the remains of temple of Antonius and Faustina in the Roman Forum. Doesn't that remind you of something that they had to go and destroy, that was covered by a lot of mysterious dirt off the coastline of California about 4 or 5 years ago, that unveiled itself? I wonder for a while if these expositions may have been modeled on something specific. Just flipping channels, I came across a documentary presenting a site of an ancient Rome that had just recently opened to the public. While I looked at the TV screen as they displayed a computer-generated reconstruction of what Nero's Domus Aurea, Golden House, would have looked like, I almost shouted at the screen, "Look, it's the Chicago Exposition, or St. Louis. That's it. This is the missing piece. This will be a short chapter, but that does not mean that it is not important in our understanding of the 1800s. Remember I told you the Colosseum that was somewhere on the East Coast was bigger than the one in Rome? They want you to believe that was damaged because that was damaged in the war. There are pictures showing it in its full pristine, just like there are still pictures in the 1800s showing the buildings and homes on London Bridge. And that's why the song came out, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. But a lot of you don't know. I even put a post up showing you the buildings that still stood in the up into the late 1800s that were still there. I want you to see how many of the features that I will be listing are the same as the pharaohs. I can now safely say that it is highly likely that the big U.S. exhibitions of the late 19th century were not only in some way copying ancient Rome, they were specifically copying the Domus Aurea. The question is only when the copy was being built. Add, further research in this area brought me to the work of Celia Crow, who sees the expositions representing various ancient cities, not only Rome, but Chicago in 1893. Chicago in 1893 certainly appeared Rome-like to my eyes. Yet to her another fair was Constantinople, Turkey. I mentioned how Nashville had been known as Athens of the South, and I will continue with the chapter as it originally appeared, but recall that my Rome model theory may only apply to Chicago. But the underlying principles of representing the ancient world likely applies to them all. The fairs. Constantinople. I cannot believe I messed it up. And I'm very good at these words. Even attempted to learn some of that language, which is the Domus Aurea in Rome has been considered a landmark in the history of Roman architecture, often cited as an example of innovative construction, sophistication, and spatial planning. They had to destroy all of them so they could make it one place to make one narrative, to create a new world order, a false world that didn't exist. And deliberate, if not ostentatious decoration. It is claimed by historians to have been built by Nero in 64 AD, following destruction of much of downtown Rome from a great fire. And in parentheses it states, the same story as the exposition cities. N. Was there really a fire and earthquake? Or was one needed historically in order to create a certain symbolism of the Domus Aurea? Nero was one of the first line of new Roman emperors coming up as a teenager and built on a large scale to show off his power to his rivals. That is how modern historians think, but perhaps Nero was doing something completely different, and this new giant area was to be his way of starting a new Rome. The term Rome is made up. Remains of the master's Domus Aurea without its marble walls and fantastic frescoes. In most cases, this is what one tends to see mostly when touring it. Built beside the Palatine Hill and across from the Forum, it was a massive area of 200 acres with a giant lake, parkland gardens, pastures, and a vineyard. The countryside was recreated in the middle of Rome. Of course, there was massive buildings with domes and columns. Their interior was made of brick, as shown in the image above. And I'll just give you a shot. I know it's black and white, but you know, it is what it is. Okay? So it'd be nice to do a video and put the little pictures in there. That's not going to happen. Okay? Not today. The same finish appeared on the outside. The style and size of structures recalls the title A Great White City. The nickname given for the Chicago exposition, yet the Domus Aurea had the name of the Golden Palace, for it shone, either due to gold covering, pearls, jewels, or perhaps electric power. Now the palace was put up in the record time of just 4 years, as the modern fairs are claimed to all be built in record time. And by the two architects, Celler and Cerru, Pliny, the elder, mentions he watched its construction in his book, Naturalis Historia. So you can pull up Naturalis Historia. It's a book. And I know, Baby Girl Slaughter, you'll probably purchase it. I have it, I think, in the shed. When completed, Septonius claimed Nero responded that he had at least begun to live like a human being. Isn't the word human being a new term based on the early 19 or late 1800s? For those who study these things, a lot of y'all would know this. So you see how everything is tell. They tell on themselves. And not him. He's doing research, and so It's credible to the enemy's narrative of creating a new world. Fanatically. Author photo reconstruction of the Domus Aurea projected onto the wall at the start of the underground tour Domus Aurea of 1890 exposition that could easily be the Great Basin of the Columbian Exposition. So they're saying they didn't construct it. It was a picture, remember when this year was, and that's Chicago, people. Real ancient, thousands of years old, Chicago, okay? Hold on, is that one in Chicago? Yeah, Columbian Exposition. Now, Nero wanted music, statues, paintings, and poetry to be presented and displayed. One of the centerpieces at the entrance was a giant 35 by 5 meter high bronze statue, the Colossus Neronis. Inside the rooms was spectacular, all made with polished marble, with extra windows and niches to let in more light, while pools and fountains were in the rooms, and in parentheses estates, to provide sound as well as keep the air cool in summer months. The ceilings were covered with mosaic tiles, while the most lavish paintings were on the walls. It is claimed that it is these wall paintings that inspired the mid-Renaissance artists such as Raphael and 18th century neoclassicism. And another, I didn't write it down. I can go on my laptop. There was some pictures, and they didn't want to show some of the paintings inside some of the buildings during the World's Fair because the people coming in the World's Fair already been part of destroying things elsewhere in other countries. They were brought here to do the same thing, and the wives knew about it. That's why some wives cried. That's why they had to start changing paintings, because it showed nothing but Negroes. If you do the research that I've expressed to you, you might come across this. Okay? The central oculus of the octagonal court of the Domus Aurea, and the paintings were removed, or painted over in white. Okay? One of the great features was a fantastic octagonal court, the dome, one of the most amazing of its day in concrete. Had a central oculus to let in light, the Pantheon in miniature. A giant fountain ran at one end underneath the floor, offering not only to regulate temperature, thermal, cooling and heating, okay, for those who don't know, but also to act in the same way as water beneath the pyramids might operate as an energy conducting device. Energetically, the room is spectacular, and it needs to be imagined with the marble walls and floors and fantastic statues, a few of which can be seen in the Vatican Museum. Check it out if you want. If you have, just speak on it. All right. Mr. Will Cooper, come on here, bro. Behold the Pale Horse. Let's go ahead and purchase it if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? What was that? It got stuck right there. I don't know why it is. But what about blood types? What importance is it? We're reading books, bro. How you doing, Keith Franks? Just because they're dark don't mean they hold the spark. Exactly. Color shade, everyone brown, ain't down. That's right. Even the pale skins are brown. They're just very, very light. They have a little melanin. Unless they have the albinos who suffer from albinism or lepers and the other osmosis of the narrative. Other than that, there's no such thing as white people. We're sentient. That's it. But yeah, the true man and woman. Yeah. People, it bothers people, but so what? Power corrupts. Yes, it does. There's been many Neros, hon. I'm born in this 1957. I'm really interested in that 200 years. Okay. We'll get at it. So let's go ahead, y'all. You know what we're reading in here now. Oh, you know what's cracking now, right? Chapter 16. Documentation. U.S. Army intelligence. Connection with Satanic Church. Woo-wee. Now, this first page is small, then a mofo, man. These things that are, I could take pictures and upload them, would probably be best. But this is a lot of information, and I'll get to the read part, order of the Tramzoid. We'll get there. So the Department of the Army, United States Army Criminal Investigation Command, 5611 Columbia Pike Falls Church, Virginia, 2044. Subject: possible adverse suitability information. Let me cross my legs. It has all the specs in Washington, D.C., 2310, you know. Reference: Telecom LTC Jones and Mr. Barkley. Law: reference Telecom, the following information is provided. On 21st July 1981, the undersigned was contacted by Officer Sandy Daly, Intelligence Unit, San Francisco, California, Police Department. Always California, boy. Phone: 415-553-1133. She related that in the course of an investigation of an alleged satanic cult known as the Temple of Set. Y'all should look that up. She came across information that the leader of the group, a Michael A. Aquino, date of birth 16 October 1948, 2430 Leavenworth Street, San Francisco, was allegedly a major in the U.S. Army Reserve associated with some kind of intelligence, military intelligence unit in the San Francisco area. Further, two other members of the group, a Dennis Mann, NFI, and a Willie Browning, female, NFI, were also USAR, United States Army Reserve officers associated with an MI unit. I guess that means a military intelligence unit in the Los Angeles, California area. That's A. B. As informal check with RCPAC reveals, does that still even exist? That their roles contain personnel with the names indicated, and that Aquino is a major. Armor and Mann and Browning, captains, military intelligence. Okay, whatever that is. I guess those are other individuals. 3. Officer Daly was advised of the fact that a possibility existed that her information was accurate, and that since it was not a criminal matter, military intelligence would be advised and would likely contact her, and she indicated a willingness to share any information which they had developed. So assigned by T.C. Jones, Lieutenant Colonel, Chief Investigation Policy and Student Division. I just want y'all to know that this is very small writing. I mean, literally. This is the actual form. And when I say small, this is less than half the size of the other ones, and it's small. So bear with me. But it's good reading. I read it the other night. That's why some of the stuff I kind of remember. You know what I mean? Check this out. This is for official use only. All right? At the time. It's all declassified. Okay? DAMI CI5 updated. First in subject. Possible adverse suitability information. Headquarter. DA CI Washington, D.C. 20310. Y'all know that. 18 November 81. To Commander, U.S. Army Forces Command. Attention. Affirmative CS, Fort McPherson, Georgia, 3330. 1. Confirming phone con. Mr. Honea, I can't make that word out. I tried to before because it's really cut off where the slash is, but it's for some com dot, I can't, the word's not said that there. Pel OACSI, OACSI, concerning subject 16 November 1981, forwarded herewith letter from USAID for your information and necessary action. And those are all labels of certain government agencies, intelligence and whatever, okay, and law. 2. A check of the files of the Federal Bureau of Investigation concerning the Temple of Set reflected no record of such an organization. And 3, request this office be advised of your findings concerning the allegations noted in basic letter. And for the Assistant Chief of Staff for Intelligence. Now, all these people played a major role in what you see what's going on today. Okay? Forscom, Fort McPherson, Georgia, 30330, 23 November 1981. Reference, AR 604-5 CCF LOI 80-1. Forwarded as a matter possibly pertaining to a member of your command if local resources reveal information warranting actions under reference B above, which is laid out as far as CCF command, which called, and the LOI 80-1. Okay. Additionally, request compliance with paragraph 3, first endorsement with copy sent to this headquarters. If they talk like that, it's kind of close to legalese. It's in military, and I know most of you might have a hard time understanding that, but these are just formalities in the way in the military, like when you communicate. It's not like how you talk in the street with a whole lot of about this, that, and sentiments. You know, it's just, all right, so it's very direct. The name mentioned in 4, the name mentioned in basic communications have been tentatively identified as follows, based on data from RCPAC, and CCF. A. Aquino, Michael A. Major. Now, as is, I guess it's, maybe it might be a social security number, but I think those started in the 60s, so I think there's an ID number. Date of birth, 16 October 1946, California. Address, 2430 Leavenworth Street, San Francisco, California. Y'all know 241333, I believe. Okay. I don't know what the rest of that nonsense is. BI 11 March 80, TS 9 June 81. I think those are the assignment dates. Assigned, yeah. Presidio of San Francisco, California, Directorate AC Support. B. Matt, as in M-A-N-H, Mount Dennis K. Captain. He has the same ID thing, not a social security number. Oh, it is social security. 568-669-015, and then man was 565-629323. Date of DPOB, which would be date of birth, him as well, just another 8 days different. 8 May 46, 1946, California. Address 2729 Eagle Pass Drive, Malibu, California. CCF check 67 Air Dozier, assigned 6 U.S. Army, U.S. Army Reserve, 306 PSYOPs. Holy shit. Excuse my language. Whoa. And that's at Building 415, Fort MacArthur, San Pedro, California. And C. Browning Willie M. Captain, 458-78-8810. Date of birth, 15 May 1946. It's funny how these three were born roughly closely in close proximity to each other. Address unknown. SBI, 15 September 77, station, I guess, whatever, 70, the word, some of the lights terms are different from what we use. TSSI, 12 October 77. Assigned Fort Hood, Texas, to HHC Division, attention. I don't know what that is. Army guys, if you can lay that down, what is ARHHC? I don't know. I didn't look it up either. I'm ex-Navy. Huh. I know there's some Army guys there you might know. And this is for the commander, I believe is George E. Dorman, Lieutenant Commander. That was a letter to that establishment, pointing those individuals out. Some more of the classified stuff that goes over in here as far as the commanders. 6 U.S. Army, attention. Commander Fort Hood, Army, attention. Commander Presidio of San Francisco. So it's going to their 3 places. As like the CF or where they was before they departed. Okay. Maybe something else. It's unimportant as far as the information to which we are looking at the U.S. Army intelligence connection with the Satanic Church. So over here we have updated third in Apex. APEC IS updated 3DN subject. Possible adverse suitability information. Adverse suitability. Doesn't go with the Army's core. Now, Mason, you can be a Christian, a Muslim, a Hindu, an atheist, a Satanist, a Luciferian, all these things. So, you know, and that's not the original Masonic order. So just know that. But it stays here, too, Commander, U.S. Army Forces Command, attention, Fort McPherson, Georgia, 30330. This is very dark. Returned without notice. What? No, what? Yeah, it's deep. Information mentioned in paragraph 2, basic letter concerning Michael A. Aquino was favorably adjudicated and top secret clearance granted 9 June 1981 by the U.S. Army Central Personnel Security Clearance Facility? Holy snizzle. Recommend the investigative file pertaining to Michael A. Aquino be received at the U.S. Army Central Personnel Security Clearance Facility, Fort George. What the heck? Well, that's in Maryland, y'all, for who you're unaware of. Holy snap. Who would pass such a thing? Possible adverse suitability information to Commander H. I can't pronounce that. I can't see it. I couldn't see it yesterday when I looked at it. WCT, Washington, D.C., 20310. I think it's the headquarters. What is that? Attention. Excuse me. Attention. Is favored. Is invited. Excuse me. Attention is invited to previous endorsement. It's very dark. I have to make out the words, y'all. I had to do it yesterday. See that? Let's see it. See it? It's hard to see it. See, the words are not focus, mozo. God dog, this cheap new phone, this is a piece of crap. It's brand new. Yeah. Okay? You can't, I gotta make the words out. My apologies. I had to do it yesterday and it was hard to see it then. I just said I'll just roll with it. So, again, attention is invited to previous endorsement. The same not unfavorable and inconclusive information is generally reported telephonically from other recipients of our 24 endorsement reallegations in basic letter for the commander. And that's still George E. Durham, so it's the same individual. Whoo, they was really messing with this one. Now we got memo for file 81776 dated July 1st, 1981. Intelligence, Temple of Set. I think, what was I doing at that point? I was selling drugs. It's my sophomore year in high school. I was breakdancing like crazy. Always talking to my pops. I'm attempting to remember 1981. My graduation year was 84, y'all, in high school. Intelligence Temple of Set. History. The Temple of Set is a satanic group under the leadership of Michael A. Aquino. What I just read is what we do in the military, even as a supervisor. When you get authentic information based on certain stuff, when you read this stuff, it's like, what in the world? Man, just say that's so-and-so, so-and-so. This is what da-da-da-da-da. But that's not how it works, y'all. Some officials, they say it's official, professional. Anyway. Group under the leadership of Michael A. Aquino. It is a splinter spin-off from group from Anton LaVey's Church of Satan in San Francisco. They separated from LaVey's organization when that organization was undergoing a metamorphosis in 1975. It is a small group, but nonetheless has several hundred members and operates on a national level. And it still exists right now. Aquino, isn't that funny? Aquino is the official head of the organization and rules the organization through a council of 9. That sounds familiar? Who are in fact his chief lieutenants. An interesting aspect of the Temple of Set is its seeming obsession with the military. One aspect of this obsession is the group's fascination with the Nazi movement, with many of them wearing, on occasion, World War II German uniforms and insignias. A more sinister aspect of their military fascination is in the fact that Michael Aquino holds a commission as a major in the U.S. Army Reserves, with his military specialty being military intelligence. He purports to his members that he reports directly to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And this is probably a gross exaggeration, but it is a fact that he holds a major's commission and deals in the area of military intelligence. 2 of his lieutenants, a female named Willie Browning, is also a captain in the U.S. Army Reserve in an intelligence unit out of Los Angeles. And another lieutenant in his group is a reserve United States Army officer named Dennis Mann. He too is involved in intelligence activities. Now, Michael Aquino, as previously stated, is the espoused head of the Temple of Set. He is apparently well educated and holds a PhD in political science and is a professor at Golden Gate College in San Francisco. Speaks volumes, don't it? His specialty is Western European political affairs, and Aquino resides on Leavenworth Street in San Francisco, and the number is believed to be 2430. He resides at the address with his girlfriend, Shurin, and his girlfriends and his girlfriend and their mothers. His father separated from the family some time ago and lives in Southern California. Allegedly, Aquino has sexual identity problems and is known to frequent prostitutes in San Francisco in order y'all know what boulevard that is, right? In order to become involved in various forms of sadomasochist sexual activities, it is believed that Aquino is bisexual. Isn't that Figaro? Woo! Projections. While the Temple of Set was always by definition somewhat, this is how it's typed, exactly, I'm reading it, somewhat bizarre, it seems to be going through its own form of metamorphosis. They are returning to the practice of holding black masses. Black masses is dark magic, or whatever you want to call it, okay? One Temple of Set, of which is scheduled for July 1981 in San Francisco at an unknown hotel on Fisherman's Wharf. It is also rumored that the group is becoming potentially more and more violent as it recruits the less intellectual and more undesirable level of people, such as some former members of Hell's Angels and similar motorcycle gangs. That sounds like the police force today. It is also rumored that they are starting to engage in animal sacrifices. Additionally, Aquino is speaking within the organization that the time has come for him to make his political moves. This is probably in relation to his position in the Army Reserves. In the memo. And then you have here ex-Green Beret, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino, a high priest of a satanic group. Yes, ex-Green Beret, y'all. Devil worshiper holds sensitive army posts and top brass say no problem. And this is the individual right here. Now, you know damn well I am not going to attempt to read that small caca right there. I can. a senior U.S. military intelligence officer with a secret security clearance, admits he's also the founder and high priest of a satanic church. And amazingly, the Army says no problem. Lieutenant Colonel, this is small, but I can read it. Huh. Hey, whoa. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino, a 41-year-old former Green Beret, confirmed in the Inquirer that he's been involved in devil worship for 22 years. God, dog. Ah, you're funny. He said he formed his own satanic church, the Temple of Set, in 1975 after, this is real small, guys, belonging to another secret sect church of Satan for the previous 10 years. My religion has been, you know what, that's so small, I'm not going to sit here trying to read all this. He's telling the story, and if you want to see it, I guess you would have to go and read it, as I said, in the Inquirer, based on that year, which it's probably, you can look it up, I believe in the 90s or 80s, something like that. But yeah, he was a Green Beret. Headquarters Central Imperial Storm, yeah. Headquarters, and I'm going to show you all this, Imperial Stormtrooper Force, Office of the Chief of Staff, Mind War Center, Hub 4. Yes, Imperial Stormtrooper Force. Final version, going to mill review, see it, and that's the name, Stormtrooper Force. That's a real thing, y'all. Nigga. We're going to read the other part of this tomorrow. I've read some more of this, so it gets better. I just wanted to give you some of the bases, let you see some of the stuff. I didn't let you see all of it. Oh, my apologies. Here. So, these are, let me put this over here so we pick it right up, even though I know where we're at. It's not a lot of forms. Look, even though they're on legal size paper, that's literally, and compared to some of the other writings, you can see the difference. When I say difference, I'm talking about difference, all right? I'm talking about this, even y'all can read, okay? This mess is like less than half the size of the writings. And then we have over here, and these are just documentations to show you the complaints and everything being stated, how he got his secret clearances. These are the things that I was showing you, reading to you. And they have certain specific tags and stuff that I'm not going to go over with you because most of you wouldn't understand. I read a few of them, and even some of I asked you as far as Army guys to see, and even that's smaller than the smallest. Oh, well, this actually is pretty decent right here. This is the way all that should look, but they didn't print it that way. This is smaller than even than that. I can read it, but you can read it and inquire about the individual Quino, okay? Ex-Green Beret, Satanist member. And then the next one we'll be getting into tomorrow, because I want to get into Heaven Bearers, is from Psyop. What the freaking frick? From Psyop to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory, by Colonel Paul E. Valle, with Major Michael A. Quino. So obviously he was very aware because he played a major role to become a Green Beret, get in there, become a Major General. This is heavy stuff, okay? But then it'll go into why it's discussing this. And that's what I was looking for. I wanted to make sure. And I'm skipping forward through a lot of this because there's a lot of tiny reading and stuff. But when you get over here and you get into the service record and everything, you're going to see a lot of stuff. And you know a lot of things happen when you think about Vietnam, 75, and all the other stuff. There's some real sick stuff that was going on. And a lot of these people played a major role, and they indoctrinated and got other people involved. And I think that's why it's important to read this, because a lot of you work in places, you deal with people, and you don't know that these people around you, and regardless of them being very intelligent but stupid, it's the world you're in. Okay, so let's get into Heaven Bearers, The New Age of Deception, Janine Helen. Excellent book. Excuse the read the other day, I was pretty freaking tired. It happens. I don't discuss whether I sleep or not no more, or slumber, whatever y'all want to call it. Okay, let's pick it up, chapter 6. Oh, I'm gonna give you a treat here. It's almost done. I gotta run out there too to my boy. It's fresh water. Go ahead and drink. I think he wants, I'm not going to play it. And there he's laying by the door. Nobody's walking over the door. Let me go ahead and read this. She can't sleep. The events of the day keep replaying in her mind over and over again. Malcolm was angry. His reprimand is what drove them to fight, and she knew he was right. She was wrong and hadn't thought it through. Her execution is what bothered her and not what she told him. Bonnie, you can't go around saying you're the enemy or traitor of Tartary. Remember, she relinquished that, saying that she believed she was the reason why so many people died, regardless of what she was doing. He scoffs at her and smashes his fist against the table. Do you have any idea what you may have caused? Don't try to scare me, Malcolm. I am not that terrified little girl you once married, she reminds him, her voice equally angry. Remember, she's more powerful than all of them. The color suddenly drains from his face. A memory appears in his mind, and he realizes it must be connected. The letter from the foundling home. He remembers that he didn't choose her, but rather wanted another woman. So who did choose her, he wonders. Turning his face away from hers, not wanting to have to explain his expression, with everything going on at this time, he brushed it off as a coincidence or human error. He had imagined that the girl he selected was already married and was no longer at the foundling home. Or perhaps she ran away. It didn't matter. Not until now. Was Bonnie sent to him for a reason? And what reason could that be? Come sit down, please. He gestures for her to follow him to the wooden bench in the courtyard and places his hands on his lap, keeping them fixed together. Bonnie reluctantly takes the seat next to him, and he takes her hands in his. Why do you believe you are a traitor? His eyes bore into hers. Her words less important than what her eyes will tell him. The eyes are the window to the soul. Or say, they say. To be honest, I am not quite sure. She shifts her weight slightly, the hard wooden frame hurting her buttocks. We are all well aware that I am not Tartarian. I'm not Phoenician, nor am I human. But I am something and someone. I have a code on my neck that no one here can read. But that doesn't change the fact that I am marked. Likely property that belongs to someone who likely came. What? Who likely will come and collect his merchandise. Baby girl, in your next book that I get, take your time and write this correctly. Whew. Oh, no, it's still good. It's no complication. All right. Excuse me. So if you're having a hard time, who likely, after I read that, it says who likely come and collect his merchandise. It's just say who will likely come to collect his merchandise. Okay, so it's like that in all these books. So it is what it is. Her eyes are hollowed and reveal nothing, not even sadness. Oh, Malcolm. She squeezes his hand and then kisses it softly, completely overcome with emotion, dreading reality in its entirety. She forces back the tears, trying not to appear weak, and lets go of his hand, becoming cold and distant. The fact that my mother knew there was something wrong with me as a baby tells me that she saw something strange more than just once. I caused the mud flood, Malcolm. My memory tells me that Azrael triggered it by merely touching me, and everyone just accepted that as truth. What if that isn't how it happened? Or I caused the mud flood on purpose? No one was bothered to accept any alternative theory. They don't dare, because I'm their queen. She rises to her feet, rage filling her blood, and it causes her to boil over with pent-up anger. She catches herself and takes a deep breath. I am now no longer their queen, and this is the best course of action. What if it is a dangerous question? Bonnie and it can lead to many wrong conclusions. You know that. If you were evil and a murderer, you would feel it, and you wouldn't be wondering what if. Now, Malcolm knows the feeling he speaks of all too well, because he is a killer. And deep down inside, he knew that he was, by his very nature and genetic design, a monster. Bonnie was good, her heart big and full of emotion. She was definitely no monster. You do realize that Azrael didn't manage to enter the firmament because he was brilliant and smart. He didn't manage it by mere luck either. Someone helped him. Her allegation is certain. Her bold words not leaving any room for denial or a plausible alternative. We know it wasn't Mother Nature who helped him enter. She only fell for his lies later on, as did the rest of Tartary. Bonnie pauses her thoughts and crinkles her nose. Her eyes become distracted by the leaves dancing around only a few yards away. It is a little wind devil, and it reminds her of the time she spent at the dreadful foundling home. Are you saying you were sent here undercover as a young baby so you could learn the ways of the people, and when called upon you would destroy the earth? Bewildered, he shakes his head and moves away from her. Bonnie, that sounds crazy. I mean, let us be realistic here. If that was the case, wouldn't your so-called handler have made contact with you by now? He softens his voice, noticing his anger building slowly. Do you have any recollection of anything or anyone asking you weird questions or giving you training at the funneling home? She shakes her head in the negative. I don't recall anything strange at the funneling home. Foundling, for those who wonder. I say funneling kind of quick. To be honest, the only thing we ever learned was how to be obedient wives. She ends her sentence with a naughty grin, knowing full well how she used to drive Malcolm crazy in the beginning of their relationship, never obeying what he said. Except what? His interest suddenly peaks at his heart, and his heart begins to race in his chest. There was a girl. We weren't friends or anything, but she just disappeared. She was supposed to go to Montreal just like me. I never heard what happened to her, but I remember we were questioned about her disappearance a few times. First by Miss Estes, and then by the police. I think she ran away and didn't want to be married off like the rest of us. I wonder where she ended up. She trails off muttering to herself. Her voice becomes a blur, and he thinks about that letter, Sarah. He blurts out, interrupting her mid-sentence. Sarah. Was that her name? He asked, formally, grabbing her by the arm, forcefully expecting an immediate answer. Yes. Wait, whoa! How? Malcolm storms off rudely and heads to his study. He looks for that letter from Miss Estes, not sure under which stack of paperwork it lay hidden. Bonnie is only seconds behind him, confused by his sudden rudeness and wanting to know what is going on. She sees the envelope in his hands. They are trembling slightly, and she isn't sure if he is angry or upset. What's in the envelope, Malcolm? A letter. I found it a few days after you went into that trance. He starts pacing up and down the room. I actually don't know why I read it, but I did. I was given a selection of 5 girls, their names and their descriptions. You weren't one of them, Bonnie. The look on her face mimics his shock. She shakes her head, not believing what she was just told. She can't be. That can't be true, Malcolm. I knew for months that I was going to marry you. How could that be if you never planned on marrying me? Her voice is shaking, and her suspicions have now been confirmed. She was sent here to perform a certain task. She clears her throat softly, holding back the anguish of what she must do. Tomorrow, I will arrange a meeting with the House of Tar. I'd like you to be there. They don't need to know why. I feel it is important that they don't know why until we have clarity. You were right. I should not have said anything then. It was too early, and we didn't have sufficient information. But between you and me, we know how this looks, and I will step down as queen. Bonnie. You won't change my mind. No one will question anything. We will tell them I am not well and need to rest. Being in that state of trance has taken a toll on my health, both mentally and emotionally, and I cannot lead. She wraps her arms around Malcolm and holds him tight. I still love you, Malcolm. That hasn't changed, but I need to distance myself from any leadership role. I can't be responsible for the lives of all the people in the empire, not when I don't even know who or what I am. I don't trust myself. She leans in and gives him a passionate kiss, her pace slowing down until her lips barely touch his. Her breath is warm and she touches his nose gently with hers, wanting to kiss him some more, but pulls away so she can look him in the eyes, letting her hands run up the back of his neck and into his hair. You should lead, Malcolm. He pulls free from her grip. No! Malcolm, you are a natural leader. Cassiel, he doesn't have the strength to lead, nor do the people respect him as a leader. He is a warrior, and that is where his strength lies. But he isn't rational when it comes to Tartaria. I have full faith in him and Cleric to protect the Empire. They will keep each other in check, and Tartaria will be better served this way. But to rule, no one has this vital characteristic in them except for you. Whoa. This is gonna get good. Whoa. This is gonna get real good. Malcolm's a bad one. Now Cassiel and Cleric, and then y'all look at Gunkata, they call them the clerics. So anyway, I know this is gonna get good. And she's starting to figure out some things. You know, it's pretty cool. Hey DJ, what's up? It's all made. Adam Science Project Reviews made in our image. Yeah, ZPA, what's up? What's going on, beloved? Simple Lex, what was that? You retracted? Okay. Let the AI proofread. Yeah, right? Well, that's what you have now. This wasn't written then. You know what I mean? Proofreaders needed, definitely. And you can see every time I get to a certain place, and she's an excellent writer. She has plenty of books. But it's always like that. There's no commas, semicolons. The words lead on without no break. Like, whoa, I have to stop and go. When I'm reading it, and I'm like, that makes no sense. This should have a vowel, an adjective, an adverb. You start seeing these things. It's like, something's not, and I just keep reading. And even though you see the little stutter, it's not a stumbling block when we get past it. You know what I mean? But Heaven Burrs, you should get the first and the second. The third one, I believe, is out. She has plenty of other books, and it's really good. But definitely needs a proofreader. Whatever, man. In the New York Minute, heavy, right? Does Adam not mean man in the tongue of creation? No, it doesn't. It took our magic and perverted it. The Jews still do this today. Well, they are fake Jews. I always state this. But as far as the name and the narrative of who they are, they're real. It's just the New World Order thing. They're just not real as far as an ancient and historic. It's all made up. And people have a hard time with that. They carefully set up their scapegoat. Definitely. Definitely, because you know there's a lot more than him. And LeVay, did y'all ever read about him? Look at the house. I actually have a collage. Because I laugh at people that call themselves Luciferians. I'm like, oh, these retards don't have a clue. I remember Quino being a Satanist was made public, and then noting, and nothing was ever said about him again. Exactly. And that's why I Googled and I pulled up a lot of stuff. I pulled up even the Acquirer page. I might do that on a tablet to read that little thing if y'all want to read it, or you can look it up for yourselves. That is some small writing. I don't have a magnifier, and that is some small reading. Sun gazing has made my vision so much better, but I do have to supplement it with B12. That's why I eat medium rare steaks now. I used to eat it medium. I used to eat it when I was in the military powerlifting. I was a vegan, and I went over back to meat. I used to eat rare steaks, and I was strong and lean. I just don't believe in eating rare. Medium rare is good for me, where it's pink, a little bit of blood. I like that with the salt. There's other reasons, but it's just it is what it is. But yeah, definitely. Hey Benji, what's going on, beloved? What's cracking, man? Yeah, perversion information, yeah. So you guys do have knowledge of the fallen ones, celestials and the corrupted Adam. Yeah, the fallen ones is us. Look how far from you've fallen from your own grace, which is nothing. Not saying it's nothing as an empty. Nothing is as a place of answers. You keep looking for something, and you need to stop that. If you have accepted yourself being this narrative of ideas that keep everybody away from the truth, you'll never really find yourself. You need to exist in the nothing. And you don't have to accept it. You can stay where you're at. And in the nothing, you don't have to look for something. You start to actually exist as you was meant. And when you exist as you were meant, then you'll see things differently, with fluidity. Because when you use the enemy's stuff, you overwrite your existence. And you don't have to believe that. Selective breeding of humanoid creatures. Yes, it's all made. Yeah. So based on what I was stating, yes, yeah. And there actually was articles about what they were doing with a lot of these babies being born in the Cabbage Patch from children that were being raped. Yes. They wanted to create a whole new race of people. And that was the whole purpose in Coney Island and the Jersey shoreline, California. They were still fighting over there. When they were doing this thing with the babies, they had, and you never see it, they had these brothels with like 13 to 17-year-old girls, and some even as young as 6 and 9. And they were making these babies. It's written in records, but you just can't find it. And then a lot of these children were dying because of the poisons they used that created the Black Plague and the Spanish influenza and all that stuff that are patent in Ohio. And nobody knows about this because nobody knows how to do the research. I never heard anybody speak on the specificalities. And then they took these babies and these incubators, and that was the whole purpose. The Cabbage Patch actually means the incubator with no family, no relation to nothing. And most of those women, those little girls, were put in these new asylums, which are our own places of study and science. Our buildings. And there was no such thing as Hebrew other than a language that had something to do with ancient Aramaic or a Denisovan language that doesn't even exist no more. A lot of these languages are brand new. I actually shared a video with a pale skin telling the truth of what I've been attempting to teach people in MySpace, Logbook, AOL, telling them that a lot of the languages are kind of brand new, made up. Even the Navajo language is still making stuff. Not just when they were making tank, which they call the turtle, in World War II. There's a plethora of languages. I lived on the res, I know. When they was using the word zinni for black, I says, no, it's Jannah. It means darkness. There's no such thing as skin color. That's to create something out of nothing so they can do what they've done. They created race, white superiority, which is fictional, and everything else that they've done. And that's why I said it's important to study who's who, Gujar, what it means. Go back, learn with Theosophy and Theosophical Society. Even Kiramil went and did a live on that. This stuff I've been speaking on for a long time. When I had that little gathering, me gathered together and taken to this place in Edinburgh, Scotland, and had to drink those 12 drinks. Oh, man. When I had to drink those 12 drinks, and what I was told by a 90-year-old, 87 to 85-year-old Masonic woman and men, there's this big guy in the corner, looked like Brutus off of Popeye. He didn't look up at me. He was big, at least 400. I mean, just big like a monster, with one of those little lanterns, eating. It seemed like he was eating the same thing for all that time I was there, until the second time when I actually drank the drinks. Then I was given so much information. See, that's why I don't tolerate people when they come talking about things that don't mean nothing. I don't have time to entertain certain things. But I will. There's no wrong question and there's no wrong answer. It's not about right or wrong. That's to keep division. It's how you perceive it. How do you accommodate yourself with what you've been raised at. Now, how do you change that to nurture yourself to aspire to rise above the occasion? The occasion is a lie. But if you accept yourself into it and you steep yourself deeply into the lie, that is your choice. Everyone has a choice. And if that's the place you want to exist, that's the murk and mire they told you about. That is not like the bog or the peat moss. The bog, you know, the reality is this world is corrupted. And when I say the world, it is the things that live in it, that call themselves man and woman. Lucid dreams that are not lucid, nor dreams. DMT usage, you should be using it right now, right here. Fast, legitimately, don't let people know, don't speak on it, stand on your head, get up to about 30 minutes meditating on your head. Allow yourself in this atmosphere, even with the bad they've done, to exist in another narrative. Paint your own portrait, and then remove it. Paint you another portrait, remove it. Peel away the scenery, all right? Get away the caps of what they've created. Diverse yourself, diversify and diverse yourself, and don't partake in their gullible lessons of inclusivity. Remove yourself from it. Okay? Don't even think about aliens. There's a lot of things here. I always say they blinded you from saying things. Don't even bother with it. Because see, when you empty yourself, when they appear and you tap into yourself, you already know and you won't have to speak on it. I've only speak on things. I read things because I says 10 and then I say 7% of people will get it. The foundations you don't have to formalize. Everything was given to you. That's why they're stripping it away, breaking it, messing with it. Because if you can see, then you'll see the game. I asked y'all to do a little math check. How is it in the history of mankind they could say 1 billion people existed for 2,000 years, and then all of a sudden 240 years ago we get from 1 billion to 1.5 billion people. All of a sudden in 240 years, 45 point something, we get 7 to 8 billion people. I asked y'all. We had somebody come along as if they were intelligent. They're far from it. Even Terrence Howard, they wanted to debunk him because, you know, it keeps you in the theory of things. 1 times 1 cannot times itself out to equal 0. It makes no sense. Then you would just have to do subtraction. And then they would say, well, what about addition? Well, if you're timesing something, if you say 2 times 2 equates to 4, then how can 1 times 1 equal 1? Or 0, for that matter. You can say all kinds of things, but this is when they condition people. And that's the conditioning that one must break. And in order to do that, you have to do mantras and sutras that most people know nothing about. So when you ground, whenever you see them doing this, that is not Masonic. That is letting people know that you are literally grounding. That is a sutra. When you cup your hand, that means you are cupping that which exists in balance. That place where women are stronger, well, more powerful. That you can have that equivalent because it's a shared energy. And not, in order to not know that, they must keep division. You got to do these things. And if you don't, then you'll never know. Boy, if you don't get off that book, stop messing with the wire. I ain't playing with you. Boy. Alexander's, he likes when I start talking like that. He comes right up under me. Mantis reptilian, like the dimension of night, more darkness. Never even thought of mantis aliens. You know, that's a name. Lest you know, throw shade. Walk on your destiny. Exactly. And a narrow path. You should have put a straight line there, D. Exactly. Mind your shadow. Never cumber. Exactly. We bigger than the Bible. Bible is just a genealogy. No, baby, you must not watch my live. The Bible, well, yeah, you're right. as far as what I stated. But it's a history. It's a history of many things. But a lot of it is taken from other things and rewritten to create this Bible. And it's taken not from around, it's taken from all over the earth that existed as one people in one body. And this being the old world, it is. This being the first place of all discovery and buildings. It just is. They had to eradicate that. They had to, and that's why the people who are not of this land, not saying that their ancestors didn't visit, but those who are lost to the time and given a new narrative, they're harder. So it's harder for them to accept this. There are many, many, many lives and cities and ancient things that have been before you. It is what it is, regardless of what you want to accept. You go listen to Bill Carson, he's starting to get a little more honest. I commented on some of his videos. I don't know if he's really been paying attention. You know how it is when people get that old worthless dollar, but it's coming to the crunch time, and he might not have the golden ticket to go with some of the other individuals that have done perverted things. There's no golden ticket. You really should be paying attention. All right? So once in a lifetime, last one, opportunity. Some of you are fortunate. And those who are not, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Stop using the word alien. Everybody stop right now. Stop using the word alien. It's still a little test. I want to see if any of you can stop using that goofy ass word that has no meaning whatsoever. The Levant, because you don't have specificalities, does not allow you to paint a narrative given by the enemy. I told you about H.G. Wells and everybody else that formulated the things that giving you what you're given. Get rid of the terms. Eradicate the terms. There's no such thing. Everything is legitimate, is official. You're just not walking or in knowledge. That's why I say it's important to pay attention, to reset your apparatus so it will perform at least 1% better. It's not complicated, people. It's not complicated at all. All right? I hope you all enjoyed the reading. All right? I didn't check to see if there's donations. I didn't even look. If you did, put them in there. Put them in there. I'll get with y'all tomorrow. I've got another book I'm going to read to you that might be beneficial as far as what you think death may be. I told you to empty yourselves. It's not real. Everything on the plane that you live is physical, right? No, it is not. That is the plane that they stuck you in. You have become comfortable in it, even though you're uncomfortable with it. You must make the choice to attribute yourself, to remove yourself from that gross neglect. All right? I am hungry. Even though I said that was all I was going to eat, I was supposed to do the beef stroganoff. I didn't heat up the water. And so I called them. Oh, I'm going to steal a screenshot. I called and left a message. Let's see if they call me back tomorrow and see what happens. All right. I haven't reached out to a fire starter. It's not about fiat. It's because I want y'all to see some things that might be beneficial. I know it's a little late for it. I should have already done it. But there's always a way. You know what I mean? And Chevron deference. If you're a drunk driver, then I guess you should have insurance. But have you noticed that every insurance company has hiked their prices up? Because nobody, especially veterans, you should be paying no more than $40, $50. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's about greed and insatiable appetite. I'm not dealing with no more insurance. And an idiot cop better not pull me over talking about some damn license plates, because nor am I a citizen, nor am I national. I'm none of that shit. This is my ancestral republic, ancestral land, and these retards don't know no better. Okay? Y'all ever watch The Armed Fisherman? You ever look at these goofy ass Jewish, these Cubans, whatever they are, down in Florida, who get in a costume, and you can see they're ignorant. They're putting more ignorant people in. They sit there acting like they like the costume means that they're supposed to talk to you and listen. No. And then when they say we're detaining me for what? Investigation? Motherfucker, I'm not going to help you with your investigation. Detain my ass. You don't have no jurisdiction. You're supposed to get the peace, and you're not doing that. You turn on emergency lights when there's no emergency, and you're coming when this has been covered over and over in these new young modes, not going hard on the young, but a lot of y'all are broken, are ignorant, and the procedures that they're teaching them, the old heads, are racist, dumb, fake Jews, ignorant Negroes, and you look at some of these niggas who are in the police department today, they are some of the dumbest summer bees I've ever seen in existence. They are some of the dumbest ones, and they half of them on steroids, testosterone. Some of them I think are once were men, but y'all did research. Just this is the truth, the longest version of every member of species. Excuse my language, but it's just a fact. I know the good ones, but I also see a lot of the bad ones. And you can't make up this level of insatiable. They haven't realized that the Constitution reigns supreme, and if they took an oath to it, they better stand by it, because a lot of y'all don't know that if a corrupt cop comes up and they're doing things that's outside of the Constitution, if you know it, hey man, meet force with force. It doesn't matter how many of the monkeys run. That's why I say a lot of y'all need to move together and need to learn how to practice together. Things would stop, but y'all are still conflicted and confused. Don't go out there creating problems, because there are some who believe in keeping the peace, and that's what they practice. And you go out there, they train in pain compulsory to get you to act right. So don't go acting a fool with the good guys, and don't take the liars who are digging, and don't be complicit if you haven't done nothing wrong. And they better be able to. Don't let a monkey cop-splain to you. Don't ever do that. But like, I don't give a damn what you got to say. You ain't saying nothing. If it ain't Constitution, it ain't the law, and you're sitting here because you're some dumb racist in a costume, go about your merry way. Or I'm going to detain you and put a civilian, called a citizen's arrest, and I'm not no goddamn citizen. You got to know how to talk. Yeah, I know I study law and legalese and all this crap, but I know so much more. I'm just not with the bad guys. I don't have to be. They're not really bad. They're just stupid. All right? Yeah. So what are the stars? There's no such thing as stars. Yo, it's all made. What's going on, bro? You sound like you really want to do something. Are you trying to play a field here? No psyops don't work here. Because you sound kind of like you're ignorant. How old are you, brother? Because no, and this is being very assertive and straightforward. We're not effeminate, masculine. So man up. What are you doing? Because it's easy to block you from the channel if that's the case. I thought you came here and you sounded like you was being sensible. That's still not fooling somebody. You're 27 to be silent and learn. And age does play a number here when it comes to certain things. Because you're speaking on things that are relevant. I have many videos that explain a lot of this stuff. Things that don't have nothing to do with what's being discussed. Okay? We have linguists here. We have people who know languages. We have people here who speak legalese and know the true meaning of these words. Okay? So be mindful of that, brother. Young brother. You're an old soul. But let's get back in touch with it. Take some advice and encouragement. All right? Even some of the older ones don't know this stuff. We have young brothers who are actually very eloquent, who are coming into these troops, and they're helping older people who didn't have the time, whose families were dead and murdered and killed in war. You might be an attribution to that. But the specificalities of the things you're talking about has no warrant here. It's baseless. It's all made up. Empty yourself. Be like water, bro. Some of the greatest philosophy come from Bruce and a whole lot of other people. Get some books on philosophy to look at yourself, to internalize the betterment of your thought process. Increase your Rolodex and information. And though there's no wrong questions or answers, you're off the mark. That's not what's being discussed. Your mind is turbulent. You're talking about things that have nothing to do with anything I read. And even though this is a little chat session, allow yourself to become acquainted with some things. That's all. All right? Okay, that's all. Nobody knows nothing. But everybody acts like they know something. There's a reason why they don't walk in their nothing. Which their nothing is the best example of life. And it's definitive. Doesn't mean walking around when we say nothing, it's nothing. It means that you don't have to walk in the world they created. That wide-ass road that everybody's walking like this on. Like a bunch of, you ever see that little thing with the monkeys with the hook on them like this and the red, and you pick it up out the barrel and all the monkeys try and grab them all at one time? That's how everybody's on this wide road. You want to be on that single road and be like that lotus flower, that grass, your pineal, the cone, and allow it to flourish and reach out to everything around you. That's it. Shosha. Dragon Sage, very good, yes. And I appreciate you, man. This is what we need. You know what I'm saying? We need this. So you didn't say anything wrong. And trust me, I don't know anything. But I'm going to share the little bit of knowledge I have and utilize it the best way I'm equipped to do that. That's all I'm doing. And because I was able to be involved in some things, some people might say it's your background. You got all these people, famous people. I could have been one of them too, and I chose not to. I mean, see, people want to listen to them. I don't want to be the liar, as if it's some great escapade. No. Yeah, I've been in some movies. I did this and another, but I didn't pursue it because I saw the ugly side. So you're getting no red wolf here, home on the shoulder, all right? And it's not about egos. We gotta bury them. But yeah. Oh no, I know it's not disrespect, brother. We gotta remember we're men. Well, man, you're sentient beyond all that, and you're masculine. You're not alpha, sigma, beta. You're not none of that crap. You're masculine. You're that energy that is a requirement to protect the feminine energy, power. The feminine power is real. They had to get rid of that. They had to give you a false god instead of letting you walk in your truth, light. And when you can see your own light, bro, I can't say nothing else. You have a choice. Okay? But no, appreciate you. No disrespect meant for me either. It's just what was needed. A stern talking, conviction, and assertiveness is what all of everybody needs, as long as it is not dynamic to the world they created. We don't have to be angst and have feelings and emotions towards anything. But there's a way to come over where you can assert your true, not based upon a false desire. These are the things that we require, that you need to do. Excuse me. All right? Maybe you... There you go. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. I am a little hungry, and I'm probably going to get a little rest early. I've been doing that lately because I like waking up early, get down, do push-ups right out the bed, flang-lang, hitting the carpet. I don't care. Get to 50. Get to 50. Then get, you know what I'm saying? And then once I'm warmed up, I got to pick up a bag of ice. But anyway, get out there, and I'm probably get my jog on, and then come back, take a little breather, and then I'm going to go out and get my walk on. That way I can get my stretch on, and then I'll come on and talk about a few other things, all right? So appreciate you guys. No, baby, did you call me Sifsay or Sifu? Hey, did y'all watch Grandmaster Kamleen? My Grandmaster, Sifu? Yeah, he's an older guy now, but he's pretty damn good, isn't he? Max B, what's up, beloved? Vegas nerve reset. Woo! That's right. Hit that Vegas nerve reset. Very important. You must dominate self instead of being dominated by others. We don't need the continued domino effect, which is like the butterfly effect, because it's a lie. Okay? Appreciate you guys. Beloved sisters, brothers. You can still donate $1 or $2. It will help get these dang books. And I'll check it tomorrow morning. I don't know, is it Friday tomorrow? I don't, y'all know I don't do these days. And I don't do it at times. But I have to do when I say something for you guys. So if it's Friday or Saturday tomorrow, whatever, right? I'll look at it then, and then I'll make a determination when I go for my evening read, and I'll go ahead and I'll do it live. But I used to do it live when I order the books and go, look, boom, it says, you know, and we'll get, here goes the internet. Oh my goodness, here they go. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. It's nothing but respect on this part. I know y'all like, wait a minute, he done flipped the script. No, I just chose not to do that no more. I think I got more than enough individuals and people still coming. And you know, it's crunch time. Okay? It's crunch time. And I appreciate you. See y'all tomorrow. Oh, you already know, DJ. I was going to do it here, so I'm not going to eat it. I'll eat that tomorrow. The beef stroganoff. These. I'm actually trying the ones I never tried. And, you know, I got so many of them. God, dog. So, this one, spicy, Southwest. I was saying salutations, but this is banging. This thing is good. Shredded beef. It's like the way I would make it. But, I had to add some cayenne. And when I got the rest, I put 3 drops of the Carolina Reaper hot sauce. I put 3 drops in there. Man, it set it off. Well, actually, I put about half a tablespoon. It's a lot. You probably have a lot of y'all under the damn it. But man, it is so good with the cayenne. It is so freaking good, spicy. So the other one we'll do tomorrow, okay? And I'm gonna sit there and I'm not gonna eat the whole thing because I can't. Because I know he wants to taste it. But the one I'm gonna do tomorrow, I'll eat the whole thing for you and I'll just give him one because I got a bunch of them. The beef stroganoff, I read it. Everybody says it's good, so I'm gonna try it. All right. But other than that, I'm going out here and cook me a ribeye and some onions. All right. And I'll see y'all in the AM, man. All right.